you guys? Isaac with a chance here to movie review A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood stars Tom Hanks, known as Mr. Fred Rogers, and this is based off a true story about a real life relationship um, with between Mr. Rogers and journalist Tom Janad, and also it's also about a guy named Lloyd who's been going through a lot. He's been getting really upset, angry, grumpy, something like that, and he meets Mr. Rogers for the first time, and Mr. Rogers wants to help him fix his life and tell him and like tell him all the stuff about being about being respectful and responsible and showing kindness to the world. And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was impressive for me because my grandfather, my grandmother, my father, and my aunt used to love Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood way back then. And probably since Sesame Street. I don't know. I remember like back when I was a kid, I used to watch Mr. Rogers on TV. I probably like watched a few like one or two or three episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood because Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is one of the beloved child well child television host TV shows of all time that kids from way back in the old days used to love way back since they have not seen Mr. Rogers for like a long time. Well, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. Let's get into Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks gives one of his best Oscar-worthy performance and best makeup as Mr. Rogers. I'm glad the director of this film picked Tom Hanks is because I think Tom Hanks used to love Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood way back when he was young. And I think he's watched some of the episodes and be like, I think I can play Mr. Rogers. And I think everybody's really great, including this guy who plays Lloyd. I forgot the guy's name who plays Lloyd in the movie. He's actually incredible in this film. But for Tom Hanks, he gives one of his Oscar-worthy performance and makeup. I think he should win an Oscar for Best Performance and Best Supporting Actor or something like that. I think he should win a few. I hope this movie should win a few Oscars for 2020 because this movie is a lovable movie made for family, friends, kids, and everybody around the world who knows all about Mr. Rogers. I remember the other day, one of my teachers was like, "What you know about Mr. Rogers?" I used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. What you know about Mr. Rogers? None of y'all don't know nothing about Mr. Rogers? Yeah, I know, but I do. I understand I'm way too young to know about it. I understand I'm way too young to know about Mr. Rogers. You know, it's like saying what you know about what you know about the movie Singing in the Rain, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins, and all those wonderful movies that we used to love as children, including The Wizard of Oz. We used to love those movies, but we still love them. Never too old to watch them, but I still watch The Wizard of Oz and the Sound of Music. Great old classic movies. But Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was an old classic TV show, and I believe kids in our future does not know anything about Mr. Rogers yet. But they should actually kids should actually watch this movie because this movie is educational for children and family, which they show this movie talks about how to be kind, respect, show people the respect that they show you the respect, and show them how kind you are and trusting. Well, it's all about that in the movie. Well, it's about trusting and about forgiving, and that's what I'm saying. Because I'm glad this movie is taking it seriously. This movie is taking itself seriously by taking its time. So everybody in this movie is not trying to steal the show from Mr. Rogers. This movie's all about Mr. Rogers because of that. I remember like one time I watched a documentary movie called Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is a Mr. Rogers documentary film, which I actually enjoyed it. I know it was kind of like a long movie, but I understand it was like a kind of like a long documentary movie that I actually liked because I want to understand who Mr. Rogers is and what he has done to impress people and kids around the world. Because he meets his fans, because he loves people. and he, he talks about say he's like say if he was um like there are many things you can do. You could play the lowest keys on the piano at the same time. Boom. The trailers impressed me. I watched the movie trailer. The movie trailer did impress me for like now. I did watch the trailer. I remember like back in July the trailer came out and I was like, "Oh my god. I knew they were going to come out with the trailer." The trailer did impress me cuz the trailer wants to um I don't know. That's all I know. But I actually enjoyed this movie. This movie's like 1 hour and 49 minutes, which ain't too bad. This is a short film. I'm sure family and everybody's gonna love this movie. Go see this movie. It's actually good. I heard everybody actually loved this movie. So I think that's all I know for now. But yeah, I did watch. I remember like one time, I did watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as a kid. I don't know how many episodes I did watch. I think I watched at least 1, 2, or 3 episodes. And I did watch like I remember like one episode when he goes to the grocery store. And I remember, like every episode when Mr. Rogers just like when he goes out in public and he's just like, "I want to introduce you to my television neighbor." And that's all he says, which is I don't have a problem with. And yeah, so in this film we get to see like we get to see King somebody. I forgot his name. We do see Daniel Tiger. We do understand about the real life true story of Mr. Rogers, of how did he impress kids around the world, and how did he want to help people to be kind to everybody, like to everybody around the world, and show the kindness to the world. And that's all I gotta say. This is a fun movie for me. I love Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I'm never gonna stop watching this movie. I still love this movie. It's enjoyable. The at least all the performances in the movie were actually good. The performances in the film were great. The cinematography about this film, is it's taking its time to talk about Mr. Rogers, like concentrate on his the TV star host, and talk about his character of how we'll talk about Tom Hanks's character, Mr. Rogers, of how he loves everyone, and that's all I gotta say. I think there's nothing much to say about this movie review, and that's about it. That's about it. I did love the theme song. Theme song's really good. I love the theme. I still love listening to the theme song though. So, Mr. Rogers is a really old kids classic TV series. Well, TV host way back then, really old. But yeah, so that's all I gotta say about this movie review, and that's about it. So be sure to like, subscribe, press notification button, follow me on Instagram, and comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.